Hey guys, welcome back to another part of Let's Play Metroid 2, and last time we began the game and made it to the, what you would call the second area of the game. And now we're going to move on and hopefully get a large part of this area done in this part. So, I don't know if you can notice this or not, but there might be a slightly annoying buzzing sound, like in the background kind of. And that's because, I'm actually using my old headset, not the new one that I bought that's a USB one, but this, my old one that has like the jacks and everything. And so since I'm using that, you'll probably hear the annoying buzzing, and it might sound a little different than my Wind Waker LP, because in that one I use my headset, my USB headset. But anyway, so we need to go through these shafts, and basically the area that we're going into now is kind of like one way. Like, it doesn't really circle around all that much, so it's kind of easy to get through actually. Alright, so we have a new enemy here, and this guy is a Galron or Galron or something, a Goron. And these guys are just like those one things that come out the tubes in the later Metroids. And they're annoying just like them too, but like the only difference between those and these ones is that those ones are actually infinite, and those ones are not. Because if you kill enough of them, you'll eventually hear like a little sound, and then they won't respawn until you leave the room and come back in. So that's good because you don't have to worry about them hurting you, but you can also use the strategy of just killing them until they make a health or a missile appear, and then you can just go on and they won't spawn after that. Anyway, so now we got more shoot leeches, and now we're in one of the first big rooms of this game. There are a bunch of these rooms that are like really huge, and you can actually explore them more in depth once you get a certain item later in the game, but we'll see that when we get there. Anyway, so here's another new guy, and this guy is a gulag or gulug or something. And if you look at its face really closely, it looks really like derpy. Like, it has like one eye that's bigger than the other, and it has that big old pointy thing that's kind of just there. I don't even know what that's supposed to be, if it's its like mouth or something. But whatever. Okay, so now that the music changed, that kind of indicates that we are actually in the second, like, main area of the game. And these areas that you see are actually supposed to be Chozo ruins, actually, because apparently the Chozo were actually on SR388 at one point. It's not their home planet, because Planet Zebes was their home planet, but apparently at some point in their time they were actually here on SR388. And I believe actually you hear somewhere that that the Metroids were actually created by the Chozo, or the X were created by the Chozo, one of those two, which is kind of weird. But anyway, here we got the Morphball bombs, and now we get basically the modern Chozo statue look, because this is how the rest of the Chozo statues and the other 2D Metroids look. And they look completely different in like the Metroid Prime games. But anyway, so and then there's our first missile expansion, and now we are up to 40 missiles. Because as I said in the first part, missile expansions give you 10 missiles instead of 5 in the other Metroid games. And throughout, like, basically all the other Metroid games, missile expansions either give you 5, which is the most common, or 10 in this game, and even 2 in Metroid Zero Mission if you play on like the hardcore mode, or the hard mode, whatever you want to call it. Oh, and here's the new guy. This is a wall fire. Whoa! I tried to jump there, but these guys, quit getting hit by it. They do like 10 damage, which is a little annoying. And those guys do appear in other Metroid games, and basically in all the other Metroids besides this one, you have to kill them with missiles or a different beam. Alright, and now we are at our first energy tank, and there's 6 energy tanks in this game. I'm not sure if I mentioned that yet. But, and this also introduces the modern look for energy tanks, so they're not just, you know, what they look like in the original Metroid. They actually look different. Alright. So, and, you know, like I said, this game introduces a lot of things into the Metroid series that actually sticks in later games. So, and another red door. Whenever you see these red doors, they often indicate that you're going to get an item. Like here, we are going to get us the Ice Beam, which is pretty much a really good weapon. It freezes enemies just like in the first game, and nothing really different there. And when you shoot it, it kind of makes a... I mean, the sound the Ice Beam makes when you shoot it is a little annoying in this game, but it's okay. And if you look very closely at the actual beam, it kind of looks like one of those ninja star things. I mean, I don't really know. That's just what I thought it looked like when I first saw it. And it is kind of cool. But anyway... Oh... Where to go now? Oh yeah. In this room, once we get the Ice Beam, we need to go to the second corridor on the right. And hopefully I won't screw this up, because I've done that before. Like in my practice run. Oh, and you can apparently freeze the beams of these guys, or what they shoot out. But on my practice file, I actually screwed this up and went through the first corridor on the right a bunch of times. And then I got lost, and then I looked back at my notes, and I was like, oh, okay, it's the second corridor on the right. Or that one. Anyway, another one of these transition music things. Kind of creepy. Anyway, so with the Ice Beam, you can freeze, like, basically any enemy in the game, just like the original Metroid. Any enemy you don't kill with one shot will be frozen. So, and then we got a Metroid shell, which kind of indicates that there's an Alpha Metroid around here somewhere. Oh, by the way, if we push pause, we can see that there's... Our Metroid count is actually 4 that we need to kill before we can actually move on to the next area. So, we need to scout out those 4 Metroids, and one of the Metroids is actually back in that room we just passed. Anyway, we need to fall down in this room, and this room is kind of reminiscent to the Super Metroid room, where you fall down in Brinstar. That leads to the first Super Missile. And there's this red, creepy looking ball thing. It's all, like, not circular at all. And if we go into it, we get the Spider Ball, which only appears in the Prime games. And actually, I think it's only in, like, 1 or 2 of them. But, unlike in the Prime games, you can actually stick to any surface and crawl up any surface. And that also includes, like, towers. Like, you can go up the save tower, and you can also roll on Metroid shells with it, which is kind of weird. But you can do that, and yeah. So, if we make our way back out to this room, I said that there was a Metroid in this room, and there actually is. And in order to get to it, we just need to get the Spider Ball, then come up above where this Metroid shell is, and in here we will find us an Alpha Metroid. And unlike the normal baby Metroids, or infant Metroids, or whatever they are, the ones from the original Metroid, you can't freeze these ones, as you'll see. So you just have to hit them with missiles. Which I guess kind of sucks. It'd be a little easier if you could hit them with a missile, or hit them with the Ice Beam and freeze them, and then pound them with missiles. But yeah. So now let's go back to our left. And actually later on in the game, as you'll see near the end, you do actually fight the original Metroids, but that's not for a little bit. So we need to go through the door that we passed in the last part. And honestly, I don't really see why you couldn't get this before going and killing that Metroid. I guess if you were low on missiles before you went to go kill that Metroid, you could come back here and get these 3 missile expansions that are in this room, which would give you 30 more missiles, which is abundantly more than what you actually need to kill the Alpha Metroid. Anyway, so there was one missile expansion that was kind of on the ceiling, and in order to get to that, you have to roll like clear across the room and go through that one corridor and then climb up the wall and get over here. And the spider ball controls in this game are a little weird, and they're like that in Metroid Prime too, because what you have to do is when you go in a direction, like if you push right to go up a wall that's to your right, you can actually hold right even when you're going left. So you're basically pushing the button to go in the opposite direction of where you're actually going, which I've always found a little weird. But whatever. I guess if you think it's that bad, you can just push the other direction. But alright, now we need to make our way back to the last save point that we saw, which is also in the same room as the energy tank, which is right here. And this was something else that kind of tripped me up in my practice file, or my practice run, because I was like, where's this save statue? And then I remembered and found it. So what you should do when you're coming out of that wall, after, you know, when you're coming back to this area, make sure you lay a bomb to destroy that wall fire, instead of just rolling into it like an idiot like what I did. But not that big a deal, I guess. Okay. Now I'm a little confused again. And this was another one of those points in my practice run where I was like, where do I go? Oh, this is the save tower. I was going the right way, I just got a little confused in myself. But whatever. Now we actually need to go up here, and we couldn't come here before because we didn't have the spider ball. But Gulag. That sounds like Zoolags in from Oddworld. A little weird. No. Okay, but then you see that there's this weird-looking rock here, and I do believe that sprite appears in Super Metroid as well, because it looks very familiar. But I guess we'll see when we actually play that game, which I will do fairly soon after completing this, but I don't think it's going to be my next side project. Anyway, so this room has 2 more expansions that we can pocket, and you can only get these once you have the spider ball, obviously, since you can only get up here once you have the spider ball. But shoot, die. Now what kind of sucks is that these wall fires do I said do but those wall fires do a decent amount of damage for an early enemy in this game. But I guess basically all enemies in this game do a decent amount of energy, or do a decent amount of damage. But most of them are fairly easy to dodge, so they're not really a problem. Like those guys are easy to dodge, except for when I stupidly roll into them. Okay, so anyway, one optional thing I kind of want to point out in this room is if you use your spider ball to go all the way to the top and then to the right a lot, you can find an energy restoration point and a missile restoration point, which is kind of nice, and they put it in a good position, because if you just went through that area and you killed all the Metroid that's there and you got all the expansions, you can kind of come up here to refill your health and make sure that you have all the missiles that you should at this point, which we should have 90 missiles. at this point, which we do, so it's good. And those gulags are kind of scaring me a little bit. Because they fly in circles, and I fell all the way down. Alright, well, basically, you get the point. There's another energy ball that's more to the right of where that missile where that missile restoration thing was. Anyway, I'm kind of debating whether or not I want to go on or break this off. Let me see what we got coming up. Oh, never mind. We will, we're getting ready to come up on another energy ball, so we really don't have to. I was debating about whether or not I should actually get back to the top of that room and get that energy ball, but that's fine because we are getting ready to come up on another one. But anyway, let's, what the hell? Alright, I could grind for energy on these guys. Oh, and here's another thing about this game. Once your energy gets low, basically below 50, there will be that tone that starts appearing, and it kind of sounds a little bit like a siren. And when you take, like, the more damage you take after that point, the faster and the higher the music gets, which is kind of cool. Instead of just having one solid tone for saying that your energy's in a dangerous thing, they actually have the music change, which is really awesome. And anyway, I'm getting a little nervous, but I think I'll be fine, and I really hope I'm going the right way, because I believe you got to go back. Okay, I'm thinking we got to go through this room, and oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. And that music is tripping me out. It's scaring me. Anyway, I think this is the room we gotta go to. Oh, Metroid Shell's not where we wanted to go. Wait, this might be the room. Not sure. Okay, I do hope it is. Yes, this is the room. This is the room we need to be in. Jeez, sorry about that. Now, see, I've played this game a couple times, but I'm really not all that familiar with it. So, excuse me if I have to pause and check where I'm going and everything. But there is a point in this room where you can find an energy ball, and I actually think it's up here. Yes. You go through this wall, and then you can go to the left, and there you go. Energy ball. Now we're alright. Phew. I was actually a little worried for my life there for a second, but everything turned out right. Alright, so let's get through this room, and then I'll break the part off there. And I think I'm going to try and keep this, the parts of this LP between, between 16 and 20 minutes long. But that's because the 8-bit summer runs up at the end of August, and there's only 2 weeks left, so I definitely need to get this done. Anyway, I'm going to go and end this part here, in this room with these mumbos flying around. Next time on Let's Play Metroid 2, we will move on and go through the game. So see you guys then. Bye.